Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Malibabu sir. Good morning, Patel. Good morning, Sudhir. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Imran. Hope everyone is doing good and earning good. This session is only for to clearing the doubts. Okay, जिसका भी कोई भी doubts है, please do ask. I'll clear it to you in the live streaming, right? And this streaming will be only for today. After that, again, next Friday will be the next streaming till the conference doesn't end. Okay, weekly one session. We'll start with the screening in 2 minutes. Huh? Radhe Radhe Pankaj. नहीं नहीं कल का ट्रेड क्लोज मत करो चलने दो till the time there is no proper setup you won't exit from the short trade. Okay, 2 मिनट में start करते हैं screening. How are you, Imran? How is your trades going on? Good trades are good as well. Great to hear that. कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लो. Amazing book, sir. Loaded. Thank you so much, Varun. Oh my God, is back. करेंगे करेंगे स्क्रीनिंग करेंगे 2 मिनट्स. 92,000 से जो ट्रेड चल रहा है उसे होल्ड करना. उसका ट्रेड एग्जिट होगा हमारा एट 117.3, नॉट प्रायर टू दैट. कितने लोग स्विंग ट्रेड्स में हैं एलटीडी वाले छोड़ के? Sandy, how is your back testing, forward testing going on? Sudhir, how is your trading going on? To start with BTC daily time frame, what is the first thing that you guys have to mark? The allocation perspectives is always looked into the previous, correct? So in this scenario, at the first stage, what I'll be marking is the supply. So the state of action will be changed. Once there is a break of structure, we'll take it from the wick. There is break and continue. With the break and continue, mark out 150 and 200%. Right? Once there is a break of 200%, what is the next step that we'll be looking at? We'll be looking for surplus. Surplus, which will be the plan of action which will be taking the 150% rejection point nearest to that. With that allocation, what do we notice? There is a break and continue. With the break and continue, we had 100% small retracement which was taken under the consideration. With this consideration, what is the next step? We had a minimality, if you notice. Right? With the minimality, allocation of 150 and 200% will be taken under the consideration. With the 200% of consideration, what is the next step that we'll be looking for? Okay, market took a retracement at each and every step of the swing. Once that swing is taken under the considerations, what are the steps which we needs to be followed? The steps is allocating as per the previous POIs. Right? POIs are always taken from the previous measurements, correct? When there is an allocation perspective, always remember the POIs will be marked in the circumstances of the previous, not the next. Just for an example, if this is my POI range, definitely my next POI will match with this. What are you saying? Again, where is the next POI? It will always map with the next. Right? With this circumstances, what is the next step of action plans that you guys will be looking? Okay, there is a break and continue. The target is at 117.3. So the surplus of 200% has given the break. We will look for an action plan of the next. How do you look for an action plan for the next? If you're getting confused with minimality, draw every price actional point. In this scenario, this is my new supply of surplus. We'll allocate the next. With this, we have a minimality M2. With minimality M2, what is the next step action plan that we'll be doing? Target of 200. Right? So when we have a target of 200, what is the first step action plan that will be taken under the consideration? 150% and then 200. So this is the plan of action that we'll be following. Right? With this, what are the major things that needs to be kept in the mind? 1 hour threshold, 1 hour volume. Right? At the current scenario, we will be having one retracement point very soon. So with that action plan, Asian session will be bearish for a bit. Then from the London, the market will continue the movement. With that come down to 4 hours. Once all the levels is allotted, what do we notice? Where is the nearest POI point? The nearest POI is over here. To calculate that, we need to have the previous POIs, right? So in this scenario, this is my previous, which will act as my current, right? So with the current, there was a break of structure. With the break of structure, market came down, created a AMD setup. With the AMD setup, market continued the movement. So in this scenario, what will be the first plan of action? The first plan of action will be of the previous, which will be taken from the POI, right? With the POI marking, what do we notice? There is a minimality created. With the minimality, target is 150 and 200. Right? So market took a rejection from 200. Again, the market took a rejection towards the short side at the 4 hours. Same range will be taken from the POI. The first action plan will always be considered with the POI range, then only the next plan of action will be taken under the consideration. Right? So 200% of rejection again. So what is the next plan? The first new supply will be acting as my current. So this will be the new supply which will be marking from the rejection point because we have a threshold created. 100% break retracement will be taken in consideration of demand converted into supply, correct? So in this scenario where we have the retracement point, we don't have a retracement point. So we will take the POI range again. right? So with this plan of action, what do we notice? We have a 100% rejection. With the 100% rejection, what are the next steps? The previous supply will act as current, M2 generated. With the M2, targets will be of 200% minimality, right? So this is our new targets, which will be taken under the considerations of mapping for the next, right? So with this plan of action, what are the next steps which will be taken under the consideration? Anyone? Yes, right. There's a POI creating, so we'll wait for the plan of action. So POI will be taken under the consideration of previous, correct? So this is the previous POI which I'll be marking it over. Okay. So this is the range what we'll be working on. So with that, what are the next steps that we'll be looking for? Will come down to 1 hour. So daily time frame, swing trade, everything is giving the indications for the trade of allocation towards bullish side. So 1 hour is the indication. What do we notice? We had a threshold formation at each and every point. So point 1, point 2, point 3, right? And the movement towards the long. With this plan of action, you have to follow the intact levels. Intact levels are very important in the markets. With the intact level, what is the next step? Identify the nearest POI point. Where is the nearest POI point for the identifications? At this current stage, this is the new POI which we'll be marking out. With this, which will be taken under the consideration of this part, right? Post this POI, what is the first step of action plan which will be taken under the consideration? The POI range. The POI range will be taken from the top to bottom of the green movement allotted. Minimality created. With the minimality, what is the plan of action? 150%. Right? With this plan of action, what is the next step? Demand allocation point again will be taken from the POI range itself. 100% rejection. With the 100% rejection, what are the steps which needs to be taken under the consideration and followed? Look for an allocation perspective of the supply. So this is my new supply which will be taken under the consideration at the point. Allotted, break and continue. There is no minimality, so direct supply 200%. Market took a rejection from the same spot. What will be the reallocation spectrum which will be following over here? The demand what we are having at the current stage will be allowed in allocation. Will I take it with the wick? No, first with the body, right? There is a allocation point with 150% rejection, right? So with 150% rejection point, what are the next steps which will be taken under the consideration? The supply. Mark out the entire supply. Reallocate the structure from the wick because we have a break of structure. With the break of structure, there is a minimality M2. Minimally M2 targets is 150% and 200%. The major target is 200%, but market is taking rejection from 150%. On the break of 150, market will continue the movement towards 200%. So this will be the plan of action of BTC, which we'll be looking for. For intraday people, come down to 15 minutes. It's in the zone of action plan. So what we'll be doing, we don't trade for 300 400 points. अगर 1500 points के allocation point दिखती है तभी allocate करेंगे. To allocate that structure, what is the first step that we'll be following? Okay, this is the supply. With the supply, we'll be looking in consideration of only today's movement, not previous. For intraday, break and continue, 150% rejection, right? With 150% rejection, what is the next step that we'll be looking for? Allocating the demand. So in this structure, this is the first demand what I'll be marking at this date. 100% break and continue hai nahi hai. So what I'll be doing, same demand will be taken under the consideration with the consideration 150% rejection, right? ये supply कितना आना चाहिए? Demand converted into supply होना चाहिए. So this is my demand which got converted into supply, 100% rejection. With the 100% rejection on the continuity, there is a 150% retracement. For that, we'll take the supply from the current, allocate it with the body, 100% rejection. With the 100% rejection, what is market indicating? So this is the demand what I'll be reposting it, the structure. So what do you see? There is a 100% rejection at the point. With the 100% rejection in the point, what are the first steps that needs to be taken under the consideration? Anyone? We'll allocate the supply because it's in the POI of 1 hour. So we'll be just working with the circulating supply moments. Any doubts in BTC, guys? Good morning, Rajiv. So this is BTC for you guys. कोई भी डाउट है कमेंट कर दो. डाउट नहीं है तो we'll move for the next. We'll discuss it some other day. You had to open an account to trade in crypto through. We'll ask you, but then there was a gap. Okay. There is conference going on, WFC. So, yeah, there will be another gap. Only we'll be having the sessions on Fridays, Sunday. Sam, welcome to the stream. सर डे का रेंज कैसे निकालते हैं? आपको डे का रेंज निकालने की जरूरत ही नहीं है क्योंकि सप्लाई एंड डिमांड विल हेल्प यू आउट. डे का रेंज दिखाना डेफिनेटली. Okay, any other doubts, guys? Let's start with daily. गोल्ड में तो किसी को डाउट नहीं रहेगा, करेक्ट? डाउट है तो पूछ लो। इंडियन मार्केट्स में स्विंग ट्रेड अलोकेशन मंडे को नहीं, वी लुक फॉर फ्राइडे, नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे। या ओके सैम, होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट। या बट मार्किंग कर देंगे। Naveen Kumar, how to find the length of the fake move after POA? The fake move length will be always identified in perspective of the same. Just for an example, BTC में क्या हुआ? What a number, 111.11, right? So just for an example, I'll showcase you one example, right? So this was my POI, correct? So how will we mark in the circumstances? पीओआई रेंज का सप्लाई कितना लंबा है उतना मार्क कर लो, पीओआई रेंज का डिमांड कितना है उतना मार्क कर लो। ओके, जिस भी तरफ का ब्रेक होता है उस एक्शन प्लान में फर्स्ट डिमांड नीचे के लिए ब्रेक हुआ है तो डिमांड का लेंथ मार्क करो। अगर 100% ब्रेक होता है तो नेक्स्ट 150% तक मूवमेंट आएगी, राइट? उसके बाद नेक्स्ट एक्शन प्लान विल बी ऑन द क्रिएशन ऑफ S2B2, मार्केट रिवर्स होगा। अगर मार्केट रिवर्स नहीं होता है तो डेफिनेटली एक स्पेक्ट्रम पॉइंट ऑफ अलोकेशन आती है, उस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन से रिवर्स होती है मार्केट। सो दैट्स हाउ यू लुक इनटू द रिजेक्शन पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन। ओके नवीन, होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट। एवरीवन ब्रेक एंड कंटिन्यू, 150% टारगेट नेक्स्ट। किसी को भी कोई भी डाउट है बुक के थ्रू और बैक टेस्टिंग करते समय कोई डाउट्स है तो पूछिए। Any trick to find POI zones? Previous POI range को mark करो, so that will be the only trick. ठीक है? So always it will work in perspective of the previous. Gold कहाँ तक जाएगा? 4,750. The entire year I'm talking about. Okay. And that levels is only for swing traders. Intraday के लिए नहीं है. Making it clear now itself. सर डिस्काउंट दिला दो बुक के ऊपर. खत्म हो गया डिस्काउंट टाइम. Sir was traveling. Was it my fault? We gave it twice on the launch date and one in Instagram. Good morning, Rakesh. How are you doing? I'll do one for YouTube also. Why no YouTube live sessions these days? There's a conference going on, WFC, so we are busy in that. So going forward, every Friday we'll be having, that's for sure. Okay. सर कर दो ना सर. नहीं होगा भाई. How to identify the directions? Mathematical concepts. TTS 2.0 use करो. सर स्विंग हाई लो मैथ कैलकुलेशंस के एक बार दिखा दो सर जी. ओके. यार वर्षा मत करो यार. हो गया. हाँ दिखाता हो. सैम गिव मी 2 minutes. सर निफ्टी में एक लॉन्ग लिया है. अच्छा चल रहा है ना. सर इंडियन मार्केट्स दिखा दो एक बार. क्या डिलीट किया पंकज? Holding BTC from 76K, what should be my targets? 117.3. Simple and easy. Arundhati ma'am, follow this levels. Sensex के लिए. On the break and continue, double it, allot it. Same scenario with Nifty. The first action plan will be taken from the previous break and continue, allot it. Okay. If it breaks and continue, then your target will be 24,920. Okay. Why was that movement towards the long, sir? Simple. सर्कुलेटिंग सप्लाई जनरेट हुआ है. एक्सेल थियरी 2 बिल्ड हुई है. विद द एक्सेल थियरी 2 कंटिन्यूटी इन द मूवमेंट. 5 मिनट में मत देखो, यू विल गेट ट्रैप्ड. ऑलवेज लुक इन 15 minutes फॉर अलोकेशंस. एम आई क्लियर गाइस? किसी कोई डाउट नहीं है. That's great. पंकज MTSL फॉलो करो, MTSL के साथ follow the TSL in the system program, right? How will you look for the TSM system program? Right, 76,000 पे plan out है, correct? तो 40x take home होना चाहिए. So in that scenario, your SL will be on this point, 108 पे, right? And MTSL structure will be at 1, sorry, intact level कहाँ पे है? Yeah, 110 पे होगा, exact. That will be your MTSL point, and system trailing will be at 108. So on the structure change, what do you notice? The S2B1 setup will be created. With the S2B1 setup, there will be a threshold formation towards the short. Once the threshold formation is formed in a higher time frame of 4 hours, you can look for an exit, not prior to that. Okay. So that will be the plan of action what you will be following. Yesterday in gold, the demand didn't complete after inducement from 1 sorry. Yesterday in gold, the demand didn't complete after inducement from 3315. Demand didn't complete. Let's check that. Beautiful guys, 150% hit. Market is running with 350 pips. Hold and continuity. If there is no retracement from 150%, this is the retracement line of action what you have to get. If it doesn't come at 150%, then direct lineup will be at 200. Okay. Demand 3315. 3315. Yes, there was a minimality. With the minimality 150%, right? With the 150% action plan, what you will do? There is a break and continue, then you will look for a demand of the previous, correct? So this is your previous demand, what you will be marking over here, if you're getting my point. So with this point of action, again, we have a minimality. With the minimality, 150 and 200%. It took the rejection of 200% demand, right? Exactly, it took the rejection from 200. Beautiful moment, guys. Keep it up. 120 pips. अभी तो जाना है. 120 pips is not our first target. First target is always looked in perspective of 150 pips plus. What is the previous demand that is considered, sir? There is no consideration of previous demand, no. Just for an example, the first action plan was taken under the consideration with this, correct? So for that, we need to allocate the structure of supply converted into demand. So this was my supply of retracement, what I'll be taking to convert my demand, correct? So in this plan of action, what do I notice? The first action plan was this, correct? So on the retracement, there was proper 100% break, right? So for the second confirmation, we drawed the allocation of this. If you see, it's matching exactly. So this is the perspective of supply converted into demand, right? With that, what do you notice? Market didn't took our SL, it continued the movement till 200%. When 200% gave a break, right? Then the second consideration will be of the demand itself, which is the last demand. This was the last demand of ours, right? With the surplus. So this will be coming into the mapping over here. So once this mapping comes, what do you notice? Minimality was there. So next plan of action will be taken under the consideration to map out. Clear? So this is the way of looking into the markets always, right? Why first we'll be converting supply converted into demand? Because the market gave a break of structure. Post break of structure, the first allocation will be always in perspective of allocating the moment of rejection, right? So that's how you look into the considerations. Beautiful, guys. TP1 is almost hit 150 pips. On the break of 200%, we'll be marking the surplus, not prior to that. Two 200% target hit, 180 pips running. Good morning, Bharat. स्ट्रीम में तो भाई 150% target hit Nifty, guys. अगर ये रिट्रेसमेंट होगा तो इतना ही होगा, उससे ज्यादा नहीं. जो प्रीवियस डिमांड है उतना ही होगा. बट ये यहाँ पे नहीं आना चाहिए, ये यहाँ पे आना चाहिए. There was no streaming for such a long period of time. You came on live 250 pips रहे. रोज 600 पिप्स करने से 250 पिप्स में इतना खुश क्यों हो रहा है? मजा आ रहा है. करो करो मजा. तो या इधर रहे या उधर रहे. पटेल कोई डाउट है? सॉरी पटेल बुलाने के लिए. हठ भोजनी. कोई डाउट है? Hi RB bhai, how is your trading going on? Like always, amazing. गोल्ड में कहाँ से हो सर? 3208. No doubts. Okay. How is your back testing going on? Not active due to job. Okay. Stream will be there for next 45 minutes. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. And Nifty, beautiful moment. Please, sir, please explain the plan for current buy trade in gold. 150 तक जाएगा ही 100%. So what is the next plan of action? यहाँ पे प्रीमियम कैसे चल रहा है पता है? 74 का प्रीमियम 1x हो चुका है. 36 का प्रीमियम 3x पे चल रहा है. In the money का प्रीमियम 150 का is running at 80% ROI. Lovely guys. Keep up. बताता हूँ राकेश. Give me 2 minutes. So what is the plan of action? Right. So यहाँ पे execute हुआ. Right. With the execution, where is the market running? Okay, market is running with 200 plus pips. Right. So in this plan of action, where will be your system trailing will be 40 pips, where it will be over here, correct? Where will your MTSL be? MTSL will be at 100 pips, right? Once the market gives a closure below 100 pips, मतलब candle 100 pips के नीचे जब close होके rejection लेके continuity में आती है, then you exit. Till the time you hold and continue. For hold and continue, what should be your plan of action? Right, this is your previous demand. जहाँ पे भी एक रेड कैंडल क्लोज होती है वहां पे ये मार्क करो. राइट, जैसे ही वो मार्किंग होती है, with that plan of action you will be looking for rejection from this 100%. अगर ये 100% से रिजेक्शन नहीं लेती है, so you double it. 150% 200% से definitely वो रिजेक्शन लेके रिवर्स होगी. अगर वो रिवर्स नहीं होता है, that will act as what डिमांड कन्वर्टेड इनटू सप्लाई. राइट, जैसे ही ग्रीन कैंडल इस रेंज ऑफ एक्शन से क्लोज अप होती है, मेक श्योर दैट यू क्लोज. फॉर दैट you need to have two confirmations, S2B1 setup and a rejection perspective of the previous. That's when you will exit the trade and be in the directional mode. Okay, Rakesh? नहीं नहीं, मेरे को प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं. I just joined before your last stream, watched as much as videos on YT's YouTube. Struggling to understand the concept preciously. Luckily, understood what you could suggest to go about it. Hmm. Right. So one thing you have to always remember, Sandy, right? So definitely by just watching, you won't understand any of the concepts, right? So the major thing, what you have to do is you have to backtest. Do the backtesting for 6 months, right? Forward testing for 6 months. Then look for few small executions, right? Post executing in the small trades, you will understand, okay, this was the exact way of looking into the markets, right? So at that point of time, you will start understanding, okay, why this was taken under the consideration, why was this taken in a plan of action, right? So that's how you look into the consideration of each and every small step movements. By just watching a video, you can't understand the concepts, right? So you have to backtest on it. मैं सोचा कोर्स छापोगे. हंसाओ मत सुबह सुबह. We don't sell courses at first place. लाइव स्ट्रीम पे आके 221 pips, which is equivalent to 1 रुपए का 200 रुपया. जो ये कर सकता है बंदा, उसको कोर्स बेचने की जरूरत नहीं है. And just not this, with Nifty as well, Indian markets. And we are swing traders and as well as ID traders. So yeah, हम लॉन्ग में स्विंग में रह के शॉर्ट भी करते हैं. Okay, the way you go on smoothly, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Sandy. Right? So you don't have to watch each and every video, Sandy. Right? Go to Home tab. In the Home tab, you'll be having first section of mathematical concept. Second section, you have to look for is supply and demand. Third section is liquidity and volume due. Right? Once you see this all three, then start slow and steadily with back testing. With back testing, what you will be doing next? Okay, you understood. This is the chart process. Once the chart process is done, okay, ये तो लाइव में मार्क करने से अच्छा है प्रीवियस देख लिया. उसके बाद रिले बार करके एक ऑप्शन आता है. Go 4-5 days back, draw the supply and demand. That will be your forward testing. In forward testing, you captured 75% of understanding. That come into the live markets, start drawing, right? 21 days to 22 days, so you'll be able to capture the moments what we are doing, right? Beautiful, guys. 250 pips running. Good morning, Martin. Sir, it's long time no live. Why? I'm not in Dubai. I'm in Switzerland. So there's a world conference going on, World Finance Conference, WFC. So that is there till July 27. The next conference is in Meta, right? Till that completion, I won't be able to give 100% time on live. So we are just working on MNPs, LTDs, and the conference. That's it, not more than that. Okay, great. We'll start that. So we had a lot of requests, more than 1,000 people, at least one session in a week. So that's the reason we started today. And all the LTD members, one, two, three. There is no week creation. Be ready. Mali Babu sir, you are there in the stream. Why we will not take previous demand? Definitely we will take this demand as well. We'll take this demand as well. Post the completion of 200% of this demand. Then we will look for this, not prior to that. If you notice why this movement is coming towards long, circulating supply, eggshell theory, grabbed out the liquidity of all the retailers in the trap of this channel, and the movement is continuing, right? For that, the next impact level is at 3350. Till that, there will be a movement, and with that movement, the continuity will be in particulars to the same, right? So the market will move on till that point of action. Okay. The same way. Is there any mentions of crypto tokens and raising volumes of? No, this is World Finance Conference. It's not about the trading. And we don't talk about crypto over there. We talk about legit making money. Yeah, crypto making money is also good, but that is liquid, right? That's not wealth creation. Beautiful, guys. Even Nifty is in the good run. पिछला हिस्से में क्या हुआ, अभी क्या हो रहा है, कुछ मत देखो. सिर्फ प्रीवियस सप्लाई एक्शन प्लान से करंट मार्क करो, बट करंट मार्किंग से कंटिन्यूटी में रहो, राइट? प्रीवियस सप्लाई एंड डिमांड के हिसाब से सब मार्क करते जाओगे. इट वर्क्स वेरी रेयर. Venkat, it's been more than 4 months. I'm saying you to learn. You're not focusing on learning. No, they don't, Sandy, right? So we basically focus over there on understanding the creations of the wealth, right? So crypto is a factor of creating the money to create the wealth, right? So liquidity is not being taught, right? So liquidity is basically the thing which no one will help you out to understand and make you get into that. That you have to get into your own circumstantial way, right? So if you notice anywhere in the world, right, what everyone focuses, the firms focus on wealth creations, right? Not on creating the money or doubling the money, nor on the structure building, right? So that is not the importance which is given in the entire world. So that you have to create by yourself, right? So how will you do that? Step by step. There is a 10-step process for that. You have to follow that 10-step process, right? The first process that you follow over creating the wealth is clear out all the loans. Second step, there should be no EMIs. Third step, you should be free. What is the meaning of free? There should be no stress of any kind in related to money, right? So in this structure, what is the next step which will play the important role? When your mind is free, that's when you will start thinking about generating the money, right? So generation is the fourth step, right? It can be in manner. It can be a startup, it can be through trading, it can be through investing, it can be through earning, right? So by earning also you can make up to one particular plan, right? Just for an example, if your earning is somewhere around 1 lakh, right? And you have saved your money for 3 years, right? So in this particular post paying tax, I assume that you're from India, so you'll be paying 30% of the tax. In 3 years, you'll be having 35 lakhs in hand, right? In this 35 lakhs, after groceries, your monthly needs, your personal needs, and all you will left out will be 25 lakhs. Even 25 lakhs is more than enough to generate the money out of it. And post generation, you can start working on your WC, which is wealth creation, right? So this is the fourth step. Post fourth step comes the fifth step. What is the fifth step? Everyone can multiply the money, right? but no one knows how to grow or compound the money. As per everyone, what is compounding of money? Use a SIP, use a WAP, right? Gain out of 7.5% to 12% interest rate. The 12% is also on a hybrid model, right? On a hybrid model, keep that money, keep investing for 20, 30 years. On the corpus, you will be having after 40 years, will be somewhere around like a crore to 5 crores if your investment of SIP is of 5,000, right? In the same particular by increasing, right? So this plan of action will create a normal wealth for a small range of people. But how does a major lookout looks like? It's not just by doing a SIP or just by creating a hybrid affixes through ETF or something, right? That's where the fifth role comes into the play, the art of compounding. In the art of compounding, what is the major structure? We have 7 categories. Starting categories by you becoming the angel investor, right? So not all the companies will directly come into the play with series funding, right? Or the venture capital funding. So always, whatever the structure comes into the play, the structure comes into the play with a circumstantial of seed fundings, right? So you can start with that. So with that, definitely, if you're an investor in a startup, definitely you will be an investor in multiple firms of trading portfolios and swing long term and all, right? So in that you work on multi-bagger stocks if you're from India, and if you're from abroad, you'll be working out on compounding on the investment by 7 to 8% annually, right? But in circumstances of that, what is the wealth created in last 5 years will be calculated, right? So on that compounding rate, people come into commodities. Why commodities is the one of the most leveraging part. That is the sixth step. Always leverage whatever you do, right? Just for an example, I follow a rule, very simple rule: OPM, OPW. What is OPM? OPM is other people's money. What is OPW? Other people's work. So in this structure, this is not used in trading or investing, okay? This is using if you're creating a startup, right? When you're creating a startup, you should be not utilizing your money. You should bring the money from others, right? And you should hire a team of pillars of seven: one for sales, one for marketing, one for finance, one for FO, one for operations, one for running a company. So once you create this structure, then definitely the money is working for you when you're in a sleep, when you're not, when you're traveling, whatever it is. This is leveraging process, right? With the leveraging process, if you're a trader, how will you leverage? So the leveraging will be used in perspective of the highest leverage point. In the current state, what are the most high leverage point in investing? Right? So commodities are the only perspectives in trading that you get high leverage, right? So using of leverage to build your money. So that will be your sixth step. Post sixth step, the seventh step comes as how good are you in understanding the leverage, right? It's just not okay. The seventh step. It's just not about how you look into the perspective of okay, I've got a leverage of 1 is to 2000. So I will be having a nice, I'm giving an example as per the Exness, okay? So I will be having, okay, if the execution of one lot is of $1,300, at this point of range, I will be getting the same thing, which is at $20, right? So in this perspective, I can go for 4, 5 lots. Don't believe in that shit, right? If you're using $1,300 per lot, right? So in this scenario, the 1 point of SL will remain the same. Definitely, you can look for one lot, not more than that. When will be your second lot? That will be considerably on the add-on point, right? The guys who showcase that punching of zero point 0.5 in the bottom, tuck, 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 what you see, right? That and all is demo accounts. Okay. And in the perspectives of that, with the leveraging, the final factor comes is how do you reinvest that leveraged compound money into the structured world, right? The last percent of allocation comes into the real estate, right? At the real estate, what is the first major thing that you look for? Okay, collapsing of the markets, right? Currently, each and every place is highly spiked up. Now, the geopolitical news and all is all indicated towards in the allocation towards the structures of crashes coming soon. Why? Because rich people buy the properties at the lower price. And who are the people who are selling it? The people who are buying it on EMIs loans, right? So they will sell their properties. We will buy it with them. Again, the market will boom. And with that, the loan corpus comes into the play on the final stage, which will work as your tax assumption part to work on the structures in parametrically by not paying 30% and paying 0% tax rate. So that's your leverage. That's how you create the wealth out. So this is a small glimpse of it, how it works. Beautiful, guys. Almost target hit. Good morning, Venkatraman. How are you? Long time. So always remember, guys, पैसा कोई भी बना सकता है. उसको compounding सिर्फ 1% of the entire world's population can do, not more than that. As per the WFC recent reports, which was presented last week. So are you in that 1%? No. Beautifully cautious and to the point, covering so many aspects. Yeah. Thank you, man. That's very small explanation, but yeah, how is your trading going on, Venkatraman? The book covered from basic. So there is, Naveen, to be precise for to you, there is no as such called as सपोर्ट एंड रेजिस्टेंस सीएमए आरएसआई कुछ भी नहीं है जो मैं लाइव पे ट्रेड करता हूँ वही चीज उस बुक में है बट बेसिक्स है स्टेप बाय स्टेप हाउ आर यू रचित लॉन्ग टाइम सरप्लस अभी मार्क करना है क्या नहीं 200% ब्रेक होना है क्या सरप्लस मार्क करने के लिए ये मार्किंग जो है वो आईडी का मार्किंग है स्विंग का मार्किंग विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द हाई वॉल्यूम पर्सपेक्टिव्स ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट मिस यू अ लॉट सर हाउ इज योर लर्निंग गोइंग ऑन Beautiful. This candle should close in red. The first presumption of retracement will be taken in perspective of this, keeping in mind there is liquidity below. So if it doesn't break below this level, if it breaks, the action plan will be of 150, 200, right? Suppose this action plan has been generated. What is the next step of actions which will be taken under the considerations? The next step of taking under the considerations will be on the break of this 200% only. So as I watched your videos, but not getting some mistakes are happening. So IU concept is from basic. Navin, say me one thing. For how many days did you back test? For how many days did you forward test? For how many days did you live test? Yeah, but the book is from basics of my concept. Okay. So if it breaks this 200%, what will be the plan of action? There should be a green candle coming over here. Okay. And that green candle should map this red candle, which is demand converted into supply. With that plan of action will be the next step of action plan, which this demand will act as my next. Okay. Like this. If it breaks directly 200%, what you will be doing is a plan of action which you will be taking from this demand. Okay. So at the current stage, don't confuse yourself. I'm just preparing you how it will be working because the stream will close in next 20 minutes. So that's the reason I have just given you the prior information of how the market could move next. I heard that getting digital residencies. क्या लिखा है? I heard that getting digital residencies in Palu might help avoid 30% tax in India. Is that correct? किसने बोला है? आप हर एक चीज को मान के मत चलो प्लीज। अगर 30% टैक्स सेव करना ही है, डिजिटल रेसिडेंसी बाई करना ही है, व्हाई डू यू हैव टू बाई इन पालू? मूव टू दुबई एट द लोएस्ट कॉस्ट, and it won't save 30% tax in India if you buy a digital residence. And they are not offering you a citizenship as well. And fee term plan is of 10 years, 1 year, 4 years, and 5 years, right? And the government, what you're talking about is an island. एक सुनामी आई तो गया. Did you do your own research? किसी को कोई और डाउट है? Please do ask. उससे कम इन्वेस्टमेंट में दुबई में सेटल हो सकते हो. I just went through the investment plans. The investment plans is about 10 crores. अगर 10 करोड़ है तो दुबई जाओ. 181 days उधर spend करो. You will be a tax resident of Dubai. So once you're a tax resident of Dubai, you don't have to pay a single rupee of 30% tax in India, because Dubai is 0% tax. Only tax that you will be paying is the cess 3% to 5% range to transfer from dirhams to Indian currency for Indian bank. Done and dusted. किस बात के लिए थैंक्स सचिन? किसी बात को भी हो, but you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Good morning, Nilesh. How are you doing? Good to see you after a while. Same here, man. Varsha was saying you had some doubts. What are the doubts? Please do ask. From tomorrow, live will be there. Till July 27th, only on Fridays we'll have the live. But I'll try to do at least alternate days. For that, I have to sacrifice 1 hour of sleep. So let me check if I can do that. Saturday, Sunday, we don't do live because we don't trade in cryptos on Saturday, Sunday. This allocation will be taken under the consideration only on the break of 200%, guys, not more than that. The surplus allocation. Okay. सर बीटीसी का आ गया सप्लाई एंड डिमांड इंड्यूसमेंट रिवर्स पैटर्न पर वर्क किया मैथमेटिकल फॉर्मूला डालकर यूज किया ब्यूटीफुल रचित गुड जॉब yes sir traveling now just saw the notifications was joined from mobile will ask later great जो भी doubts है you just drop in the comment right so I will revert it back to you on your telegram or whatsapp सर आपने बोला था 5,000 का होगा मैंने भी सोचा 5,000 में कर सकते हैं बट मेरा 5,000 तो टैक्स में ही चला जाएगा राइट सो वी हैव केप्ट द बेस्ट प्राइस 5,785 पे रखने का सोचा था कभी कभी फेल हो जाता हूँ कोई बात नहीं है एक रूल फॉलो करके चलना रचो 10 ट्रेड लिया है कितना बार फेल हुआ है राइट अगर वो नंबर 5 से ज्यादा है देन यू आर डूइंग इट रॉन्ग अगर वो नंबर 7 के ऊपर है मीन 7 to 10 के बीच में है देन जहां जहां पे फेल हो रहे हो पॉइंट्स नोट करो राइट नेक्स्ट टाइम सेम रिपीट मत करो सेम मिस्टेक को रिपीट मत करो उस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में आपको क्या होगा यू विल बी हैविंग दैट ओके दिस आई रिपीटेड वंस आई विल नॉट रिपीट इट अगेन सेकेंड टाइम भी रिपीट हुआ दिस इज माई लास्ट थर्ड टाइम भी सेम मिस्टेक रिपीट कर रहे हो टेक ए ब्रेक फॉर 1 वीक इफ यू आर रिपीटिंग द सेम मिस्टेक थ्राइस एक दो बार माफ है 3 बार होने के बाद अगर सस्टेन हो जाओगे हमेशा वही गलती करते रहो ओके लेकिन मोस्टली सही रहता हो ग्रेट तो वो जो मोस्टली सही रहते हो एंड कभी कभी जो गलत हो जाते हो ना वो मिस्टेक्स को बैक टेस्ट करके फॉरवर्ड टेस्ट करके देखो क्यों गलत हुए क्या फॉलो नहीं किया था राइट? सो वो चीज को नेक्स्ट एक्शन प्लान में रिपीट मत करना, एज सिंपल एज दैट. ओके. यहाँ से ही डायरेक्टली ऊपर जाएगा? नहीं नहीं, लिक्विडिटी पेंडिंग है यार. जो रनिंग में एंट्री हुई उनको तो बाहर करेगा फिर, उसके बाद वो सरप्लस वर्क होगा, उससे पहले थोड़ी होगा. 7 मिनट है अभी. गुड मॉर्निंग ऋषभ सर, कहाँ थे आप? थोड़ा बिजी हो गया था. सॉरी गाइस, सॉरी फॉर एवरीवन. एग्जिट करो क्या ट्रेड से? सेटअप क्रिएट हुआ है क्या? वॉल्यूम चेंज हुआ है क्या? एग्जिट क्यों करोगे, बने रहो. 3350 तक बने रहो चुपचाप. कौन पूछा है? नाम नहीं बोलो. बट तुम्हारा दोस्त ही है. निफ्टी शॉर्ट देखे नहीं? क्यों देखना है शॉर्ट? क्यों देखना है शॉर्ट? शॉर्ट तभी देखेंगे जब सेटअप क्रिएट हो, उससे पहले नहीं. Everyone make their MTSLs neck to neck, system trailing at 100 pips and continue the hold. Good morning, Ritesh. बहुत मिस किया आपको. Stream will be there for next 10 minutes. Whatever doubts you're having, please do ask. So you are the one, right? You had lot of doubts. पूछो क्या doubts है? Nilesh, no, no. There is no updated timing. Right, conference खत्म होने तक we won't be doing live streaming, but I'll try to come on alternative days, but the timeline will be the same. Indian standards के हिसाब से वही timeline होगा. एक number. However, we are having a supply of 150%. सरप्लस भी मार्क करके दे दूंगा आज के दिन का. यूज दैट. On the break of 150%, this surplus will be marked for you guys. But stream 5 मिनट में close हो रहा है, उसके वजह से I'm just marking it now. Okay, this is the 150% line of conduct on the break and continue. Okay, beautiful guys. 6x running at OTM, 2x running in the money. Sorry, at the money, 1x running in the money. Okay, sir. Evening session will be there. No, no. Nifty 4x, 1.5x, and 1x running. Recipe book. Hey man, how are you? I am good, Nilesh. How are you? How is your trading going on? 260 pips in gold. Beautiful, guys. कहाँ पे ट्रेड्स एग्जीक्यूट किए हो सर? 34600, 34640, 324760, 150% rejection. पहले डाल के रखा था या आपके सामने डाला था? हर एक लेवल आपके सामने ही तो डाला. Beautiful, guys. 6x running, 4.5x running, 2x running, and add-on quantity ka 60% ROI running. Oh, you asked trading. Took some small trades just to gain some confidence. Going good so far. Great, great. Sensex target hit, guys. बट ब्रेक करेगा क्योंकि निफ्टी का टारगेट हिट नहीं हुआ है, याद रख लो. Recipe book can share your number, just chart like where to enter. मैं खुद नहीं बताता हूँ कहाँ पे एंटर करना है, वो क्यों बताएगा? Good job, guys. Keep it up. तो कहाँ से एंट्री किया है बता? 260 कैसे हुआ? मेरा अभी तक 250 चल रही है. ओके, तो ये वीक से ही एंट्री कर लिया. Stream is closing in 6 minutes. In 6 minutes, I can't explain Indian session. 10 pips आगे हो ना, चलेगा. इसे होल्ड करना अच्छे तरीके से. निफ्टी का LTD members, make sure that allocation will be month end expiry. स्विंग ट्रेडिंग के लिए, इंट्राडे के लिए आज का ही उठा सकते हो द नियरेस्ट एक्सपायरी, नॉट एन इशू. बट स्विंग ट्रेडर्स मंथ एंड अलोकेशंस. लवली. ये जितना आसान तरीके से ऊपर जा रहा है ना, इस पे विश्वास मत करो. बहुत जल्द एक ड्रॉप आएगा, उसके बाद फिर से कंटिन्यू होगी. हाँ, ड्रॉप नियरेस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ अलोकेशन से ही आएगा. एंड उसके लिए हाई वॉल्यूम होना जरूरी है. जहाँ पे हाई वॉल्यूम दिखना शुरू हो गया, within the coming 3-4 candles post that high volume, the market will reverse. तो जब तक हाई कैलिब्रेशन जोन में है, कंटिन्यू करते चलो. ओके. सर PDF लिंक सेंड मी, आई वांट टू बाय बुक. आई डोंट डील विद दैट. फॉर्म दिया होगा टीम ने, अगर कॉपी पेंडिंग है तो डेफिनेटली उसमें यू हैव टू अपडेट द डिटेल्स. टीम विल कोऑर्डिनेट विद यू. Lovely. सेंसेक्स में इस पॉइंट ऑफ एक्शन में लास्ट 3 मिनट में प्रीमियम नहीं बढ़ा है. 3 मिनट बोल रहा हूँ बट इस कैंडल में प्रीमियम आई है. देयर इज अ डेल्टा चेंज. वाह. आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड एट ऑल टुवर्ड शॉर्ट इनपुट. नहीं नहीं रुक जाओ. ये एक ड्रॉप आ सकती है क्योंकि सब लोग यहाँ पे एक रेजिस्टेंस डाले, रेजिस्टेंस ब्रेक हुआ है. राइट, एक छोटा सा ड्रॉप आएगी देन कंटिन्यू होगा. Always remember, one good trade is the trade that you need to focus on. Do the back testing of 6 months, do the back testing, forward testing of 6 months, 1 month of live testing. Bring the small capital to gain the confidence and execute the trades in the directions of the market. Make sure don't execute the trades in FOMO or running candles. Follow the rules. And only one thing I could say you is hold the targets till mathematical numbers, following the proper mindset and discipline, and be consistent in the market. Make sure to always look and draw each and every point of actions. This is Nitesh signing off. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए take care. Bye bye. Happy weekend guys.